NFL, after 11 seasons, retires this weekend. We are on Sportsmanlike, brought to you by Grainger. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers access to over 1 million products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. Right tools and supplies, never far away. Call, click, Grainger.com or just stop by today. Kellen Moore, head coach of the Saints, had this to say about Derek Carr's retirement this weekend.
As we've gone through this whole offseason, Derek's had to go through a lot just as you go through this process, and obviously making the decision ultimately to retire from the National Football League after an 11-year career. I mean, first of all, you respect and appreciate so much that Derek's done in this league, and for the way he's done it, the on-the-field performance, the off-the-field person that he's showcased, and the impact he's had on so many people in this profession is really, really special. And so certainly, coming here, I've always had so much respect and appreciation for him. And as we've gone through this process, obviously this is how it kind of ultimately was settled. It was really good communication through the whole process as far as navigating this. Again, challenging circumstances with him being injured at the end of the year, and then just kind of navigating things throughout the whole offseason process. And so, I think Derek, the people that are a part of his life have communicated really well with the Saints. I think there's been really good communication, and so, we feel like it was done the right way.
Well, interesting comments from Kellen Moore, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. They now probably are going to have Tyler Shuck as their starting quarterback, as we said the night after that draft, or the days after the draft, saying he could be the first guy that gets a chance there to be QB1 in New Orleans. But just to throw something out there. So the NFC South or the AFC North, which division do you think is more wide open? NFC South or AFC North?
NFC South.
Okay. AFC North.
Wait, what am I missing here?
All right, AFC North. If I put Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, what place do they finish in?
Third.
At best.
So third or fourth? Just hypothetically. If I put Aaron Rodgers on the New Orleans Saints, what place do they finish in?
I think third.
Could
Closer
be
to second?
Could be second, could be third.
So they could be better. If I put Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, how much say does he have?
Not a lot.
And if I put him on the Saints?
Hold on, though. We say not a lot, but they have been very patient and amenable to him.
That's a great point.
Like, they've been behaving in a way that is quite literally shocking to me for this one particular player. Mm-hmm. So maybe he would arrive in Pittsburgh with a little bit more say than we would normally expect any player to have in a Mike Tomlin-led team.
I've said all along I don't like the fit of Rodgers with Pittsburgh. I don't understand why they've done this. I can't believe I'll say this, but I kind of think he should go to the Saints if they offer him a deal. I actually think it makes way more sense for him. If you want to finish on a high note, you're playing indoors.
I was going to say controllable environment.
The teams you play against on a more regular basis, one is indoors and the other two are in warmer weather. Mm-hmm. You've said it many times. When you get into your late part of your career, the cold weather doesn't help you.
Yeah.
The warm weather does. The New Orleans Saints they're going to pick high enough next year to get a quarterback anyway.
Clearer path to the playoffs.
I think there's an argument. If Rodgers thinks he has something left, and we've been asking all along, what the heck is he waiting for? I'm not saying he was waiting for this. I'm also not ruling this out.
Sure. I get why Rodgers would want to do it. Why exactly would the Saints want to do it
Okay,
again?
good question.
Good question.
So here's the answer to that. If they don't go for it this year in some capacity.
Why would they go for it this year?
Okay, then start trading guys off. Then what are you waiting for?
I don't know.
So they're already late to one party or another. I don't believe Derek Carr ever wanted to play another game for the Saints. I believe that Derek Carr is a legit shoulder injury. I still would take the over on games played the rest of his career if you put it at a half. Not that he's lying right now by any stretch of imagination. He is currently retired. In a year from now, if his shoulder is better and he's not under contract and a team places a phone call in a situation he likes, like any person, he would consider it.
So I guess the question is, you're saying the Saints should be trading off pieces. Who exactly do you want them to trade?
Kamara?
Why would you trade Kamara if you're trying to break in a young quarterback in Tyler Shuck?
Okay,
well,
like I'm not if I'm
them.
Yeah, you need to have a running game, have balance. Alvin Kamara can help him in both ways with running and receiving.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for a young quarterback. I would actually try to set up a culture of winning right off the bat if I'm Kellen Moore. And if I could pull this off, I don't know that Rodgers, because you're not going to get Cousins.
So you think you're better off going with Aaron Rodgers to set up a good culture?
Okay. Wait, Evan.
No, hold on.
What?
I'm disoriented. You want to set up a culture of winning as a rookie head coach, and your solution to that is to bring in a guy who won 5 games over a 2-year span. Yes, he was injured and got everybody fired.
Oh, I'm not a fan.
That guy.
I'm not a fan of his by any stretch of the imagination.
But from a football standpoint,
I like him going to New Orleans. I don't know why. I just like it.
Let's even remove everybody getting fired. Let's remove the media stuff. He was not great on the football field.
I know.
They won 5 games.
I know.
He did not make a material difference from a football standpoint.
No, he did. He hurt them.
Okay, so let's bring him into a new regime.
Yeah.
Instead of starting fresh with a new head coach and a rookie quarterback.
This is his move.
That's his move, but why would it be their move?
Because is Tyler Shuck actually that good?
He could be. Some people had him rated number 1 on their board.
Well, why didn't you take him in the first round if he was so good? Why didn't you trade down and get more pieces?
Because you needed a left tackle.
Okay, you could have gotten one later in the first. Josh Simmons.
Left tackles aren't created equal.
I understand. Well, he could be better than all of them, potentially.
Yeah. Also, let's not talk about where people were drafted because so many quarterbacks have gone in later rounds or later in the first round, and they weren't the number 1 overall pick, or they didn't jump. Teams didn't jump up to get them.
I'm just saying.
He's seasoned. He's a more mature quarterback. They like him.
I like this fit. I actually think this makes sense. And I think it would be the best case scenario for the Steelers. You have to get bad at some point to get really good. And I think that Mike Tomlin even would have to admit this is ridiculous. Am I really going to go at this with Mason Rudolph? I'm going to bite my tongue for a year.
We're on the eve of the NFL schedule release, and we still don't know whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to run with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, do it this way. Do it this way.
That is wild to me. How long are you going to sit around and wait?
But of all franchises, I'm still shocked it's this one.
It's like the first date, the person is an hour late showing up, and you still waiting on them.
You've ordered appetizers.
Right.
And you've had
a couple of cocktails. You're still waiting on the person to show up. At what point do you pull the plug on it and say, hey, maybe they're just not that into me? When is that going to happen for Pittsburgh?
The signs are there.
They're there.
Let me ask you a question. Forget whether you think it's the right fit or a good move or anything like that. We've asked all along, what is Aaron Rodgers waiting for? The initial thought, Smalls kept saying, wait, let's wait on Minnesota. Let's wait in Minnesota. Let's wait in Minnesota.
There's just some questions surrounding J.J. McCarthy.
Totally. They then go make that trade, and they get Sam Howell, who's been a starter in this league, is young. And if J.J. McCarthy stinks, which I don't think he's going to, you could plug him in and then revisit it after the year. No big deal, right? Then you make this super offer for Dak Prescott, or whatever it may be. What is he waiting for? We're like, oh, well, maybe he's waiting for another situation to play itself out. Maybe the Brock Purdy stuff. That's not it. Oh, maybe a guy gets injured mid-season, and that's where he goes. Well, this is a starting quarterback situation that played out differently than how any of us anticipated it. And maybe it is something that Rodgers knew about that we didn't. I'm not suggesting he's going to be in New Orleans. I'm also not suggesting it's impossible. It is something that has changed with the team starting quarterback. We knew that Derek Carr was hurt. We thought maybe he wouldn't play this year, but technically, roster-wise, it has changed.
No doubt. Let me ask you a question. Do you think this is going to be the last something that changes in the way of starting quarterbacks moving forward?
Ooh, good question.
I don't know. That's a tricky one because then we would have to say, what else is lingering? We knew that Derek Carr stuff was lingering. We just didn't think it was lingering by way of retirement, right? We did not know that. By the way, we do have news about the NFL schedule and who the Eagles are going to host to kick off the season.
Banner night.
You're going to find out next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. But first, Cece has this from ESPN Bet. Are you on board, by the way, with my Rockies interim manager bump after they fired Bud Black yesterday after the game?
No, we got to talk about that. We're contemplating an intervention with you, by the way. Yeah,
good.
But listen, the playoffs are in full.
Xin chào các bạn nha. Ngày nay mình sẽ cho các bạn cái dán đây là cái bút chỉ nha. Bây giờ mình sẽ cho các bạn. Không